Hey everyone, if you're prepping for the CMA exam, you know how tricky profitability ratios can be. Well, today we're going to tackle one of the big ones, return on assets, or ROA. And I want you to think of it less like a formula you have to memorize and more like an X-ray, one that lets you see exactly how well a company is using everything it owns to make money. Let's dive in.
You know, at the end of the day, this is the big question, right? It's what every manager, every investor, every analyst wants to know. A company has all this stuff, buildings, equipment, inventory, cash. But how good are they really at turning all of that into actual hard profit? That's the puzzle we're going to solve with ROA. So here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down what ROA actually is. Then, we're going to crunch some numbers. After that, we'll talk about what those numbers are telling us, see it in a side-by-side comparison, and then, and this is key for your exam, we'll cover the common traps you need to watch out for.
Okay, let's start with the big picture. Return on assets really gets to the heart of how effective a management team is. It answers a simple question. For every single dollar the company has tied up in assets, how many cents of profit is the team squeezing out of it? It's basically a report card on how well they're using the tools they've been given.
Here it is, the official definition you'll want to lock away. ROA is a measure of how well management is using the company's assets to make a profit. And the formula? It looks super simple. You just take the net income and divide it by the average total assets. Now that little word average in the denominator, it's a really big deal, so let's zoom in on that for a second.
So why do we use average total assets instead of just grabbing the number from the end of the year? This is a classic exam-level detail. Think of it like this. Net income is earned over a whole period, right? It's like a movie of the entire year. But the company's assets change during that year. So by taking an average of the beginning and ending assets, we get a number that better represents the assets that were actually available to generate that income throughout the year. It's all about making sure we're comparing apples to apples.
Okay, theory's great, but let's get our hands dirty and actually put this formula to work. We're going to walk through a quick calculation, step by step, using the numbers from an example right out of your source material. This is exactly the kind of problem you can expect to see. All right, let's do this. Step 1, we find our net income on the income statement. In this case, it's $81,000. Step 2, we need our denominator, the average assets. So we take the ending assets, $1.8 million, add the beginning assets, $1.6 million, and divide the whole thing by 2. That gives us our average, $1.7 million. Now for the easy part. Step 3, we just divide. And there we have it. $81,000 divided by $1.7 million gives us an ROA of 4.76%. So what does that mean? In plain English, it means that for every single dollar of assets this company had, it managed to generate just under 5 cents in net profit. Okay, getting the number is only half the job. Now we have to figure out what it's telling us. So is 4.76% good? Is it bad? Well, by itself, a number like this is kind of meaningless. It all comes down to context. Now, as a rule of thumb, a higher ROA is almost always better. It suggests the management team is really efficient. A low ROA, on the other hand, might be a red flag for inefficiency. But, and this is a big but, it could also just mean the company is in a business that requires a ton of assets to begin with, like a heavy manufacturing or an airline company. And that brings us to where ROA really shines, when you use it to compare companies. Let's look at a quick scenario that shows you exactly why looking at just profits can be so misleading. Okay, check this out. We've got Company A and Company B. At first glance, they look pretty similar, right? They both made a net income of $100,000. But look at their assets. Company A did it with only $500,000 in assets, which gives it an awesome ROA of 20%. Company B needed $2 million in assets, 4 times as much, to make the exact same profit. That leaves it with an ROA of just 5%. This chart just makes it crystal clear. Even though they made the same amount of money, Company A is a lean, mean, profit-generating machine. It's literally 4 times more efficient with its assets than Company B. This is the exact kind of powerful insight that ROA gives you, an insight that net income alone completely hides. All right, let's shift gears and talk about the most important part for your prep. The common mistakes and traps on the CMA exam that can really trip you up. Getting these details right is absolutely crucial. So here are the big ones to watch out for. First, the classic mistake, using ending assets instead of the average. You should always calculate the average unless the question specifically tells you to do something else. Second, don't mix up ROA with its close cousin ROE. They sound similar, but they measure very different things. And finally, here's a huge tip from the source material. Read the question carefully. The exam might throw you a curveball, giving you a slightly modified definition of the ratio, so you have to stay sharp.
To really hammer home that second point, let's put ROA and ROE side by side. See? The top number, net income, is exactly the same. But the bottom number, the denominator, is what changes everything. ROA looks at all the assets, the entire resource base of the company. Its focus is on total operational efficiency. ROE, on the other hand, narrows in on just the owner's piece of the pie, the equity. It asks, what's the return specifically for the shareholders? They're two different ratios answering two very different questions.
So, there you have it. Return on assets is this incredibly powerful tool for measuring how efficient a company is right now. But here's a final thought I want to leave you with. A company with a high ROI isn't just performing well today. It's also showing you that it has strong potential for future growth. If you can master this ratio, you've really unlocked a key piece of the financial puzzle. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you next ad.